Hey, come on, man. You want the hands? Is that what you want, huh?
Homefront is back. What? You don't remember Homefront? Came out in 2011. It was super popular for like a month. No, nothing? Well, it's back. But is it worth it? Let's find out. This is one of the final stages in Homefront: The Revolution. Here, players are tasked with escorting a military convoy across the dusty outskirts of a war-torn Philadelphia. The only problem is, the centerpiece of the mission, a heavily armored Humvee, has become confused and is repeatedly slamming itself into an immovable object. This was strange, considering it had taken a different route just minutes before I restarted the mission. And so, I attempted to return the AI to its original path. I bombed the truck blocking its way, but to no avail. I stood directly in front of it to nudge it slightly to the right and was promptly run over. I reloaded my save. No luck. I loaded an older checkpoint with similar results. And then, for no apparent reason, it finally worked. We journeyed across the intended road, blasting away enemy soldiers and vehicles, edging closer towards liberation, before yet another invisible wall impeded our progress. 90 minutes of troubleshooting later, this 5-minute sequence was finally completed. This is a perfect summarization for Homefront: The Revolution, a game that both creatively and technically builds momentum before abruptly stopping. The year is 2027, and America has fallen. After decades of trade with the technologically advanced Republic of North Korea, the United States has defaulted on its loans, plunging the nation's economy into a significant depression. Jobless and hungry, many Americans welcome the DPRK's assistance in rebuilding the country. But with the government completely replaced by the occupying military and a drastic increase in human rights violations, small pockets of rebels begin to fight back. The problem with Homefront's story is its lack of context. From the beginning, players are meant to imbibe a sense of patriotism for America and contempt towards their North Korean oppressors. But we're never shown what made the United States so great. In fact, the irresponsible trade agreements speak to the contrary. True to history, the rebels' methods are regularly debated within the group, but their constant calls for blood make their leaders appear sociopathic. As for the North Koreans, their goals are unclear. Considering the monetary value of controlling a population of 300 million, they're never seen making a return on their investment. At one point, a labor camp is displayed, but the audience is never told the purpose of the factory. Neither side of the conflict is admirable or sensible, resulting in a narrative without meaningful motivation. This muddy delivery also carries over into the gameplay, which is divided between linear action sequences and open world activities. Combat is easily the best aspect of Homefront. Shotguns, rifles, and pistols are the weapons of choice, but can be modified at any point during gameplay. The ability to swap out scopes and silencers mid-battle adds just enough complexity to freshen up the mostly similar encounters, as does the crafting and projectile system, where explosives can be altered into traditional grenades, wall charges, and zippy RC cars. The use of cover is mandatory, as players can quickly be shot down. Enemy soldiers, as well as their mechanical drones, also share in the vulnerability, with only a few precise shots taking out even the most intimidating of foes. Combined with the scarcity of health packs, these demanding shootouts remain tense, yet fair throughout the campaign. It's a shame these events are frequently interrupted by Homefront's poorly designed open-world hubs, littered with small collectibles and mandatory activities. Changing hidden radio stations to rebel propaganda, cutting enemy power generators, and preventing police brutality progressively turns the obedient residents to willful rioters. The concept itself is rather compelling, utilizing the game's stealth mechanics to secretly build rebellion hideouts in preparation for an attack. But in practice, it becomes a disengaging slog. Jumping and climbing scaffolding is boring enough, but the frustratingly inconsistent parkour mechanics result in plenty of missed grabs. Some of these sections can take nearly an hour of grinding to complete and sabotage the flow of gameplay. Fortunately, the online multiplayer focuses solely on large-scale battles within the open environments. Traversing the blown-out remnants of Philadelphia to sabotage DPRK outposts or escort convoys is made all the more enjoyable with a squad of real-life players. Ranking up enough kills during missions unlocks greater currency rewards and incentivizes teamwork. One of the more unique aspects of Homefront's multiplayer is how new items are obtained. Rather than purchasing a single gun or scope, money is spent on randomizing chests. Considering there's no microtransactions involved, it's an interesting method. Sadly, there's not much to see in the online co-op, as all of the missions can be finished in only a couple of hours. But Homefront's true downfall is in its horrific performance. The graphics themselves are more than adequate, even beautiful on occasion, with striking visuals juxtaposing the disheveled city with the futuristic machines of the North Koreans. But all of this is ruined by the game's busted frame rate, with temporary freezes constantly appearing throughout the 11-hour campaign. So, is it worth it? No. Homefront: The Revolution is far from perfect, but there are brief moments of inspiration within the snappy shooting and adventurous online mode. But they can't make up for the campaign's nauseating performance and aimless padding. It is perfectly represented by the demented efforts of this Humvee, repeatedly gaining traction and velocity before suddenly disappointing again. Homefront: The Revolution is currently available on the PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One for $60. If you've had a chance to play it, let me know what you thought, and if you haven't, let me know if you plan on picking it up. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'll see you in the next video.